asked 5 YouTubers to give me a character that I can put in an AI-generated tournament. An AI will decide which of these characters will win, but that's not the only thing the AI will do. The AI will also decide where the battle will take place. And then I also asked a random Discord server, because I don't have 5 friends that make YouTube videos. For the purposes of this, it was the Lost Marbles Discord server. And the person that chose this character is nameless. That's just their name. Their name is nameless. But everyone else is Laith from the YouTube channel Laith, who is the biggest one here with over 200,000 subscribers. I kinda want him to win, because then I can clickbait him. We also have Creek from Creek and Creek GD. We also have Ash from YouTube channel AsherSD. We have JJL from YouTube channel Prof_Toad. And Kinemod from Kinemod. You're watching Kinemod. And here's what they chose. Prof told that weird whale child decided to go for Kirby, because Kirby is a god-slaying monster. Every fighter is going to have 2 abilities, so Kirby is going to have his sucking ability and his copy ability. Creek GD chose Saitama. Okay, but I'm pretty sure he has never seen the show, because he calls him One Punch Man instead of Saitama, so... Saitama has limitless potential, meaning that every time he fights a strong opponent, he's just going to get stronger. And he's lacking recognition, meaning that opponents are more likely to underestimate him. The random Discord server went for Piranha Plant. Don't ask me. Piranha Plant has 2 smash moves, Extended Bite and Poison Breath. Ash went for the sniper from Team Fortress 2, who has Focus, which means that the more time he spends scoped in, the more damage a shot will do. And Professional Aim, meaning that he's highly trained and never misses a shot. Almost never. Then there's me. I chose Bean. If you don't know Bean, Bean's the best game! Bean has a grappling hook, which means he can grapple to every surface that is orange. And 2-directional movement, meaning that if he goes sideways and forwards at the same time, he will go faster. This is a reference to the Bean video game that you should play! But you can't play, because they made a remake and now the original Bean's gone. I hate new Bean. And last but not least, I specifically let this one be last because Laith just wanted to be special. Instead of choosing a character that already exists, Laith decided that he should make a depressed goat. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read what a depressed goat is. A small, gray, white and black goat that's a bit droopy. Wears a trench coat. With reckless charge, where he throws himself horns first with reckless abandon. His desire to hurt finally giving him a reason to live. And die. And his second ability, of course, being, don't come to school tomorrow, kid. Throws off the trench coat to reveal a rifle. Still a goat though, so has to operate with his tongue. This is perhaps the greatest fictional character I've ever seen. And since I had no graphic for it, I drew him. Look at him. Anyway, it's time to fight. Hello and welcome to like a new video, and today we are going to be doing this. I made this little bracket right here, and I'm just gonna say right now that 1 and 2 are going to fight, and I'm going to shuffle it now. And that means that Goat and Sniper are the first that are going to fight, then Saitama and Plant, and then Bean and Kirby. And thus our first fight is going to be Depressed Goat versus Sniper. You can go ahead and read through the Depressed Goat right now, and you can go ahead and read through the Sniper right now. Nevertheless, we are going to start the fight here. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. The location is a desolate, crumbling industrial wasteland. Cold drizzle begins to fall. It's not heavy. It's enough to make a ground slick and treacherous, creating a perfect conditions for missteps and moments of vulnerability. The distant sound of dripping water makes the low hum of wind passing through broken windows. A deathly stillness lingers, broken only by the sound of 2 beings preparing for battle. From the shadows steps the Depressed Goat, his trench coat dragging across the ground, sodden from the drizzle. His horns barely peek from beneath his droopy black-white fur, and his eyes, those lifeless sunken eyes, have seen too much pain, too much hopelessness. He lets out a faint bleat, soft, mournful. On the other side of the wasteland, perched high up on the remains of an old watchtower, stands Sniper Mr. Mundy, his head tilted low. He adjusts the scope of his rifle, scanning the broken landscape with sharp precision. Oh, what's this then? A goat? He mutters to himself, a smirk forming on his face. Ain't this gonna be a bloody quick? His voice is as sharp as his aim, laced with the cocky bravado of a man who's never missed a shot he didn't mean to hit. The fight begins in eerie silence. Sniper, hidden behind rustling metal beams, slowly takes aim, his breath steady, his fingers lightly touching the trigger. Come on now, mate. Just stand still and I'll make this quick, he whispers, fully confident. He scopes in and the sad little goat standing there in the rain, looking like he's already lost. The pressed goat lifts his head slowly. For a moment it looks like he's not going to move at all, but then he charges. His small frame moves like a bullet, reckless and wild, horns down, trench coat billowing behind him like a tattered cape. The ground shudders beneath him as he lets out a bleat that is more of a scream than anything else. The sudden burst of movement catches Sniper off guard. He steadies his aim, focusing intensely. Not bad for a goat. He sneers, pulling the trigger. Crack! The bullet whizzes through the air. The pressed goat dodges barely. The bullet grazes his goat, ripping a small hole, missing his flesh by inches. He continues forward, his charge fueled by many years of pent-up misery. Bah! Bah! His desperate battle cry echoes through the wasteland as he closes in. With a smirk, the sniper slings his rifle over his shoulder, realizing the fight isn't over yet. Alright, goat, let's see how you can handle up close. He pulls out his SMG, the weapon humming with anticipation as it spits out bullets with rapid rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. The pressed goat swerves to the side, miraculously dodging most of the onslaught. His trench coat flapping as bullets shed the air around him. He narrows his dead eyes. He knows it's time. Its legs skid to a stop. He suddenly lets out a final guttural bleat as he throws off the trench coat with a dramatic flare, revealing a rifle strapped on his back. The rifle gleams his dim light. The pressed goat, now fully exposed, awkwardly grabs the weapon with his tongue. His body shaking as he tries to aim. It's clumsy, pathetic even, but there's a strange determination in his movements. Bah! He bleats out as if asking Sniper for permission to make his last stand. Sniper raises an eyebrow, almost laughing. You gotta be kidding me, right? What are you gonna do with that? Nibble me to death? Nibble me to death. My favorite sniper quote. Ignoring the taunts, the pressed goat fires wildly, unpredictably. The shots are erratic, bullets ricocheting off of metal pipes, bouncing off walls. It's chaos, but in chaos there is danger. One stray bullet strikes near Sniper's foot, causing him to stumble back. His smirk fades. Alright, that's enough fun, he shouts, pulling out his machete, the blade gleaming wickedly in the dying light. He jumps down from the vantage point, ready to end it. The pressed goat, through trembling, lowers his horns again. He knows it's it. One last chance. He throws himself forward, reckless and unhinged. The sound of his hooves pounding against the wet concrete like a heartbeat of a broken world. But Sniper is fast, too fast. He sidesteps, avoiding the ghost's charge with ease, swings his machete down, slash! The blade finds its mark, slicing into the pressed goat's side, blood mixing with rainwater. Oh my god! Oh no! The pressed goat falters, his legs giving out beneath him. He collapses, panting heavily, his rifle sliding from his grasp, forgotten in the mud. His once trenched form now lies exposed, vulnerable. Bah! He bleeds out one last time, as if acknowledging his fate. Sniper walks up slowly, his boots splashing through the puddles. He wipes the blood from his machete with a slow, deliberate motion. You gave it a go, mate. There's a reason they call me your best. He kneels beside the fallen goat and tips his hat. Good night. And the winner is Sniper, Mr. Mundy, and he moves on in the bracket. Oh my god, this was the best goddamn fight I've ever goddamn seen in my life. Time for the next fight, Saitama. You can read it right here, and he is going to fight Piranha Plant, which you can read right here. Let's see who wins. A lush, overgrown jungle deep within an ancient temple. Massive stone pillars cracked and moss-covered rise towards the sky. The air is thick with a scent of wet earth and strange, exotic flowers. Faint beams of sunlight trickle through the dense canopy above, casting everything in a warm green glow. Nearby, a river cuts through the temple floor. Its waters black and still. The fighters enter. Standing casually amidst the chaos in the jungle, completely out of place, is Saitama, wearing his bright yellow hero suit, white cape, and barely stirs in the dense, humid air. His bald head gleams under the beams of sunlight. Hands in his pockets, his expression is one of complete boredom. Huh? He mutters, looking around. Is this where the fight's supposed to be? Seems kinda jungle-y. On the other side of the clearing, there's a rustling emerging from the green pipe. Roots wriggling and quivering is the Piranha Plant. Its sharp teeth glistening with a faint light, snapping and chomping with menace. The plant lets out a series of guttural, gurgling sounds that reverberate through the temple. A low growl that could only mean one thing. Hunger. Its head whips back and forth, assessing Saitama as nothing more than prey. Without even removing his hand from its paw, Saitama sighs. You gotta be kidding me. A plant? Guess I'll make this quick. He says, his voice flat and uninterested. But the Piranha Plant strikes first. It lunges from its pipe at terrifying speed, extending its stem towards Saitama. Teeth gleaming, and it aims to clamp down. The movement is so sudden, so vicious that the air crackles with sheer force. But Saitama doesn't even flinch. He stands to the side, casually avoiding the attack by mere inches. The Piranha Plant snaps its jaws shut, missing entirely, and lets out a frustrated hiss, retreating to slightly regroup. Saitama yawns. Come on, at least try to make it interesting. The Piranha ran close, more aggressive, pulls back its pipe. Suddenly, its gaping mouth opens wide and spews a thick green cloud of poisonous gas towards Saitama. The poison quickly spreads through the temple clearing, enveloping everything in its toxic haze. The vines seem to wilt in its wake, and the air becomes an almost unbreathable thick with a scent of decay. Saitama, still unbothered, scratches his nose. What's that smell? He takes a deep breath, inhaling the poisonous gas without much as a cough. Kinda smells like onions. He says, his expression unchanged. The Piranha plant, realizing its poisonous breath has no effect, roars in frustration. It begins to move its entire pipe now. Its root-like feet dragging the green pipe forward as it prepares for another attack. Its movements create tremors that the ground as it approaches, its teeth gnashing wildly. Fine, Saitama says, stretching his arms. Guess I'll put a little effort in. The Piranha plant lunges again, at this time from even farther away, its stem extended with terrifying speed and force, aiming to sink its teeth into Saitama's head. The movement is a blur, a savage attack that could devour most opponents whole, but Saitama, he simply raises his fist. Boom! The sound of his punch meeting Piranha plant's extended bite echoes with thunderclap through the temple. The air trembles, and for a moment everything freezes. The Piranha plant's head is still extended, but its teeth, however, are just inches away from Saitama's fist, unable to move further. Saitama's fist has stopped. It's dead. With an almost bored sigh, Saitama tightens his grip and punches for real this time. The impact is instant and catastrophic. The Piranha plant is launched backwards, flying through the air like a ragdoll. Its stem and pipe twist and spiral uncontrollably as it careens through the temple, smashing through ancient stone pillars like it's made of paper. The once majestic greenery ripped apart of the wake of the planet's destruction. Roots tearing from the ground, stone shattering like glass. Finally, the Piranha plant crashes into the temple wall with such force that the entire structure shakes. Dust and debris rain down, and the plant is left embedded in stone, its body limp and jaws hanging open in defeat. Saitama stands there looking at his fist, unbothered. That's it? He mutters, almost disappointed. I thought this would be more of a challenge. He glances at the crumbled remains of the temple wall and shrugs. Oh well, guess I'll go find something to eat. And the winner is Saitama! Who could have guessed? This was perhaps the most obvious outcome of all time. You know, the real question is, will anyone be able to defeat Saitama? That's the real question. And now we have Bean, you can read his description right here, and Kirby, you can read his description right here. Funnily enough, me versus JJL in the first round. That's awesome. Location: a surreal and vibrant floating island suspended in the middle of a massive swirling pink and orange nebula. The ground is made of strange bouncy material like a hybrid between rubber and cotton candy, with glowing orange patches scattered across the surface. Floating platforms hover mysteriously in the air, some slowly drifting and rotating in unpredictable patterns. The sky above shifts constantly, hues of pink, purple, and gold dancing in the nebula churns. There's no clear edge to the island, everything is suspended in an endless sea of space and swirling stardust. Gravity seems to work differently here, slightly lighter, making each movement feel weightless and almost dreamlike. Suddenly, a soft breeze drifts through, carrying the feeling of impending chaos. Bean materializes in the center of the island. It's an odd bean-shaped body standing upright. The crudely drawn smiley face on its front remains eerily still, making it impossible to tell what Bean is thinking or feeling. It's small, silent, and strangely calm, but with an air of unpredictability. Without warning, Bean shoots out his grappling hook, latching onto one of the nearby glowing orange surfaces with precision. It pulls itself forward, moving side to side with an erratic, unsettling fashion as it explores the battlefield. Suddenly, a warp in the air signals the arrival of Kirby. A small pink puffball floats down gently from above, eyes wide and innocent, but there's a glint of determination in those beady black eyes. His happy demeanor hides the fact that beneath his round, squishy exterior lies the power to topple gods. Bean moves first without a sound. It shoots its grappling hook towards a distant orange surface, towards a floating platform. The hook latches on, instantly pulling Bean sideways at incredible speed. It sibs across the battlefield, zigzagging unpredictably, its strange, silent form darting between platforms, moving like a projectile. Kirby, unfazed, watches with curiosity as Bean zooms around. He tilts his head slightly before taking a deep breath, preparing to inhale. Bean notices the change in atmosphere and immediately switches direction, rocketing sideways to avoid Kirby's vacuum-like power. The sound of Kirby's massive inhaling is like a gust of wind, pulling everything nearby towards his open mouth. Small rocks, loose debris, and even entire platforms begin to shift under the force, but Bean stays outside the range, bouncing from one orange surface to another with dizzying speed. Kirby frowns slightly, puffing his cheeks even more as the inhale intensifies, but Bean is too fast. It's clear that Bean's erratic two-directional movement is making it difficult for Kirby to catch him. The trap is set. That's a scary-ass title. Realizing that trying to suck up Bean directly isn't working, Kirby stops and changes tactics. His tiny pink arm spreads wide and he opens his mouth again, but this time he sucks up a nearby floating platform. The entire structure vanishes inside him, and after a brief second, Kirby spits it back out like a projectile, sending the platform hurling towards Bean with astonishing speed. Bean, still moving in rapid side-to-side bursts, reacts quickly. With a flick of its grappling hook, it attaches to another orange surface and zips away, narrowly avoiding the incoming platform. However, Kirby isn't done. He quickly inhales another platform and repeats the process, bombarding the battlefield with projectile debris. But Bean doesn't stop. It weaves in and out, dodging Kirby's attacks with perfect precision. Each time the grappling hook latches onto the orange surface, pulling Bean to safety at the last second. Kirby, realizing his opponent's unpredictable speed, grows more serious. Kirby's big move. I feel like I'm not winning this. I don't think I'm winning this. Kirby, his cheerful demeanor fading, decides to end this. He floats onto the air, taking a breath once again. But this time, there's a change. He starts to glow, his round body puffing up, larger than before. The gravity around him seems to warp, pulling everything towards him. The sky itself seems to ripple under the immense force of his inhale. It's as if the very fabric of space is bending towards Kirby. Bean hesitates for a second, its smiley face still static, but the danger is palpable. In a desperate bid, Bean launches his grappling hook at a distant, far-off orange patch, shooting sideways at breakneck speed, but Kirby isn't giving up this time. The gravitational pull of his inhale is so strong that it grabs Bean mid-movement, dragging his silent bean-shaped creature towards him. Bean struggles, its grappling hook stretching taut, but Kirby's power is too much. In the blink of an eye, Bean is sucked into Kirby's open mouth. For a moment, everything is silent. Kirby lands on the bouncy ground softly, his cheeks puffed out as he contemplates whether or not to copy Bean's abilities. He lets out a small "Baya!" and begins to glow. His form shifts slightly. A tiny, almost comical grappling hook spells from his side. Kirby has absorbed Bean's grappling hook ability. With a grin, Kirby shoots his new hook towards a nearby orange surface, zipping sideways with newfound speed. Now, he not only retains his godlike power, but can move at the same erratic burst as Bean once did. And the winner is Kirby! Now, the way I'm doing Kirby is if he decides to actually copy the ability, then I'm going to go ahead and actually give him that ability now. So, Bean's abilities, as you can see right here, are now going to be copied over to Kirby. And with that, Kirby moves on in our goddamn bracket. Let's go. Sniper gets to move on without competition, and that is why now Kirby has to fight Saitama. You can reread both of their descriptions right now. Of course, Kirby, now having copied Bean's ability, has 2 more abilities. And thus we send. Location: a bizarre interdimensional area floating amidst a sea of swirling cosmic rays. The ground is shining, a translucent platform that stretches infinitely in all directions, dotted with a large orange surfaces suspending in mid-air. Ideal targets for a grappling hook. Gravity here is lighter than normal, making everything feel slightly floaty, but time and space seem distorted at the edges. The stars and galaxies beyond the battlefield twist and bend as though reality itself struggles to contain the power of the fighters. In one corner, shimmering platform, stands Saitama. His expression as blank as ever. His yellow hero suit contrasts sharply with the surreal, warping cosmos around him. He looks unimpressed by the strange battlefield. Man, I hope this fight is over quick. He mutters, rubbing the back of his bald head. I've got grocery shopping to do. On the other side of the platform, floating gently down, is Kirby. Small pink puffball lands softly in the shimmering surface, eyes gleaming with excitement. Kirby bounces a little, puffing his cheeks out and waving his tiny arm in greeting. And then, with a "Baya!" of determination, Kirby gets ready to fight. But Kirby isn't the same as usual. He's got some new tricks. After absorbing Bean's abilities, Kirby now has a grappling hook extending from his side and the ability to zip sideways at incredible speeds. He flexes these skills as he prepares to face his toughest opponent yet. Saitama, unimpressed by Kirby's size, casually walks forward. You're just a little guy, huh? Well, maybe I can get this over quickly. He raises his fist, ready to deliver one of his famous punches with a small hoop. Saitama throws a half-hearted punch towards Kirby, but Kirby is already on the move. With lightning-fast reflexes, Kirby shoots out the grappling hook, latches onto a nearby orange surface in a blur. Kirby zips sideways at blinding speeds, avoiding the punch entirely. He bounces on the other side of the area with a cheeky "Fire!" escaping him. Saitama blinks. Whoa, fast little guy. He mutters and cracks his neck and stretches. Alright, I guess I have to try a little harder. Kirby, sensing an opportunity, takes a deep breath and begins to inhale. The force of his suction warps the space around him, pulling in dust and debris from the battlefield. Even the orange surface starts to tremble under Kirby's immense sucking power. But Saitama stands firm. The suction has no effect on him as he simply plants his feet unfazed. Nice try, but that's not gonna work. Saitama says, arms crossed. Kirby, realizing that direct inhaling isn't going to be enough, quickly pivots. Using his grappling hook once more, Kirby zips across the arena, trying to gain the upper hand through sheer speed. He circles Saitama, shooting his hook and ledge onto distant orange surfaces, moving in erratic bursts of speed, making himself a difficult target to pin down. Saitama watches with a casual expression, tracking Kirby's movement. Huh, he's pretty fast. He muses, following Kirby's zipping form with his eyes. But speed isn't everything. As Kirby speeds by, Saitama suddenly lunges, his movement so fast he almost seems to teleport. He throws a punch directly where Kirby is about to appear, aiming to catch him mid-grapple, but Kirby reacts with stunning reflexes, shooting his hook at a sharp angle, zipping sideways just in time to avoid Saitama's fist by a hair. The sheer force of his punch creates a shockwave, rippling across the battlefield and shattering one of the distant floating platforms into dust. Kirby looks back at the destruction, eyes wide, and lets out a nervous fire before zipping away again. Realizing that he needs more than speed to take on Saitama, Kirby begins formulating a plan. He stops, takes a breath, and starts inhaling again, this time focusing all his efforts on sucking in the environment itself. He inhales one of the massive orange surfaces, then another, spitting them out as projectiles aimed directly at Saitama. The huge chunks of material fly towards Saitama at blinding speed, but he barely reacts with a simple flick of the wrist. Saitama punches the incoming platforms to pieces, shattering their remains, flying off into the void. This is getting boring. But Kirby isn't done yet. He zips sideways at incredible speed, launching another inhaled platform straight at Saitama's blind spot, while simultaneously losing his grapple hook to pull himself in the opposite direction. Saitama, however, seems to have caught on to Kirby's tactics. In a blow of immersion, he dodges the incoming debris and moves directly in front of Kirby, and as he zips past... Gotcha. Saitama says, raising his fist again, this time with real intent. As Kirby zips towards another orange surface, Saitama moves at unparalleled speed, his fist primed for a devastating punch. In this instant, Kirby realizes that there's no time to dodge. He stops, his eyes wide as Saitama's fist closes in. Boom! The punch connects. With sheer force of it ripples through the arena, bending space itself. A shockwave of unimaginable power radiates outwards, shattering every remaining platform, warping the very fabric of reality. Kirby is sent flying backwards, spinning uncontrollably as the force repels him through the air. He lands at the far edge of the arena, bouncing a few times before coming to a stop. The entire battlefield goes quiet, save for the faint cracking of energy from Saitama's punch. For a moment, nothing moves. Kirby is still lying on the ground, his small body unmoving. Saitama stands there, arms crossed again, looking down where Kirby fell. Man, even after all that, you're still pretty tough. He mutters, sounding almost impressed. Suddenly, Kirby stirs. He slowly floats back to his feet, wobbling slightly but determined. His eyes narrow, and with a defiant "Booyah!" he prepares to continue. Saitama grins. You're not done yet, huh? Guess I won't hold back next time. But even Kirby knows that there's no next punch. He reaches his limit with a sign of resignation, a soft "Booyah." Kirby slumps back, down, accepting defeat. And the winner is Saitama! Yeah, he's not losing. We're talking, in the next round, we're talking about Saitama, the One Punch Man himself, against Sniper from Team Fortress 2. This shouldn't go very long. I hate Kirby. You can reread both of their descriptions right now. I don't think you have to, though. I think the most interesting part about this fight is going to be the location. A desolate, war-torn battlefield at dusk. The sun is setting in the distance, casting an orange glow over a sprawling desert landscape, littered with broken vehicles, crumbling buildings, and twisted metal. The air is thick with dust, and the occasional gust of wind sends loose debris skittering across the ground. There's a ridge to the north, perfect for a sniper to set up, and scattered cover in form of ruined buildings, rusted-out trucks, and sand dunes. The atmosphere is eerily quiet, the world seemingly holding its breath for the fight about to unfold. In the middle of the battlefield, Saitama stands, looking around in his unnatural, bored expression. His yellow hero suit slightly dusted from the wind, but he doesn't seem to care. Huh. This place looks like a mess. He mutters to himself, wonder if there's anyone here worth fighting. He scratches his head, yawns, and starts walking aimlessly. From the ridge above, perched in a perfect snapping position, is Mr. Mundy, better known as Sniper. He adjusts his white-brimmed hat and peers through the scope of his sniper rifle. A small smirk crosses his face as he catches sight of Saitama below. Oh, crikey. This one looks like a walk in the park. He adjusts his focus on the scope, watching Saitama stroll casually through the battlefield, completely oblivious to the sniper's presence. Sniper reigns still, eyes narrowing on the lines that go up his shot. His finger hovers over the trigger, ready to unleash a perfectly aimed bullet. Right between your eyes. Just the good old times. He mutters with his professional aim ability. Missing is not an option. From his vantage point, he takes a deep breath and focuses. His focus ability kicks in, increasing the damage of his shot the longer he stays scoped in on Saitama. He waits until the perfect moment, and then BAM! The bullet cracks through the air, traveling at pinpoint position towards Saitama's head. Saitama still walking. Hears a shot just in time to lazily lift his head to the side. The bullet whizzes past, missing him by inches and slamming into the metal pole behind him with a loud clang. He stops walking and looks mildly surprised. Huh? Did something just hit me? He wanders out loud, glancing over his shoulder at the pole. He sees the bullet hole and frowns slightly. Oh, someone's shooting at me. He looks up at the ridge where you can see where the shot came from, squinting. Well, I guess I should go and check that out. From his position, Sniper swears under his breath. What the bloody hell did he watch that? He immediately reloads and starts tracking Saitama through his scope again, more focused than ever. Alright, mate. Let's see how you're gonna handle this. Saitama, meanwhile, begins walking slowly towards the ridge. He doesn't seem particularly concerned, but there's a hint of curiosity in his eyes. I wonder if this guy's any good. Sniper switches tactic. He pulls out his SMG and begins unloading bursts of fire towards Saitama, hoping to slow him down. The bullets pepper the ground and ruins around Saitama, but none of them land a solid hit. Saitama casually steps out of the way with each burst, barely reacting. You're slippery, aren't you? Sniper grumbles, frustration creeping into his voice. He reloads his rifle and takes aim again, determined to make his next shot count. The sun dips low, casting a long shadow across the battlefield, giving Sniper the advantage as he blends into the dimming light. Saitama, now within range to see Sniper, clearly stops walking and sighs. Oh, there you are. I thought you'd be tougher, honestly. Yo, he sounds almost disappointed. But Sniper isn't done yet. As Saitama approaches, Sniper pulls out his machete, twirling it with practiced ease. You think you can just waltz up here, mate? I don't care how tough you are. I got taking bigger blocks out than you. With a quick dash, Sniper lunges at Saitama, swinging his machete at a deadly arc. The blade slices through the air, aiming straight for Saitama's neck. But before it even gets close, Saitama catches the blade with two fingers, stopping it dead in its tracks, and stares at Sniper with a blank expression. Really? This is it? Sniper's eyes widen in disbelief. What? That was my best shot! Saitama sighs again, looking at the machete pinched between his fingers. I think it's time to finish this. I've got stuff to do. With a casual flick of the wrist, Saitama shatters the machete into pieces, sending the shots flying into the desert winds. Sniper stumbles back, his mind racing. No way. No bloody way. He mutters, his confidence shattered. Saitama raises his fist, his expression bored yet focused. Sorry about this. He says almost apologetically. But I don't have time to mess around. In an instant, Saitama throws a punch, his signature unstoppable one punch. The sheer force of it creates a shockwave that rips through the air, distorting the landscape around him. The punch doesn't even land directly on Sniper. The force alone is enough to send him flying off the ridge, tumbling through the air completely out of control. He crashes on the ground far below, his sniper rifle and gear scattered around him. The dust settles and all that remains is silence. Saitama lowers his fist, looking for the crater left behind where Sniper landed. I thought he'd put up more of a fight. He says, sounding disappointed again. He looks at the setting sun and the cape fluttering in the breeze. Guess it's back to grocery store. Meanwhile, far below, Sniper lies in a heap, groaning in pain. Oh, bloody hell. What kind of monster is that guy? He mutters, staring up in the sky, dazed and beaten. And the winner is Saitama! Yeah, that was to be expected.